Right then, let's talk about something most business owners would rather stick their head in the sand about, what it really costs when your IT goes down. And look, it's not just a bit of an inconvenience. For Aussie businesses like yours, it can be a genuine, business-ending threat. So let's pull back the curtain and see what's really at stake.
So let me ask you straight up, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Is your business really prepared for downtime? I mean, properly ready for when it all goes pear-shaped? It's a bit of a confronting question, I know, but it's probably the most important one you could ask yourself today.
So, when we say downtime, what are we actually on about? It's way more than just a computer glitch. It's that heart-stopping moment when your entire operation just stops. Everything grinds to a halt. Let's paint a picture of what that actually looks like.
Yeah, the chaos kicks in straight away. Suddenly, that critical client file can't get to it. That urgent invoice, not going anywhere. Your whole team is just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, which, let's be honest, is literally like setting fire to a pile of cash. And maybe worst of all, your customers are on the other end of the phone or the email just waiting, getting frustrated. It's a total nightmare for productivity, and it does real damage to your reputation.
Okay, so we've touched on the operational mess, but now let's talk about the cold, hard cash. This is where it gets properly scary, and where that she'll-be-right attitude about your IT really shows itself as an incredibly expensive gamble. Now have a look at this number, okay? It's a UK figure, but just let the scale of it sink in for a second. £4,500 per minute. That works out to be over 8,000 Aussie dollars. Every 60 seconds, your business is offline. Just let that sit. Imagine that clock ticking away while your team can't work and your customers can't be served. The cost is absolutely mind-blowing.
And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, mate, but that's for some massive once-in-a-blue-moon disaster, right? That's not going to happen to us. Well, the tough reality is that these hugely expensive outages, they're usually caused by some pretty common, everyday stuff.
You know, we're talking about things like cyber attacks. Someone in the office clicks one dodgy link in an email and boom, your whole network is held for ransom. Or we're talking about a server in the back room that just decides to give up the ghost. And then there's the biggest one of all, simple human error. Someone has a bit of a brain fade and accidentally deletes a folder they shouldn't have. It happens way more often than you'd think.
And here's the kicker. This is the really important bit. When one of these common problems hits, the real damage isn't the event itself. It's how long it takes you to get back on your feet. And if you don't have a solid backup system in place, that recovery time can stretch from a few minutes to a few hours or even days.
And that time, that delay, is what connects straight back to that terrifying number we saw earlier. Every single minute you're scrambling to fix things is another $8,000 out the window. The longer it takes, the deeper the financial hole you're digging. It's a dead simple and absolutely brutal equation.
But look, it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. There is a clear, sensible way to deal with all this. It's all about being proactive instead of reactive. So let's talk about your lifeline, a proper business continuity plan, with a really robust backup strategy right at the heart of it.
And a good strategy, it isn't rocket science. It really just boils down to 3 simple things. First, your important data is getting saved regularly and automatically. No fuss. You've always got a recent, clean copy ready to go. Second, if the worst happens, getting that data back is quick and easy. It's not some week-long IT project. And that leads to the most important bit. Step 3, you can keep your business running with barely a blip. At the end of the day, a proper backup system is basically your insurance policy against everything we've just talked about. And notice I say when, not if, a disaster strikes. It's the one thing that lets you get back up and running in minutes, not days. And that doesn't just save you a potential fortune, it saves you a massive amount of stress and protects that reputation you've worked so hard to build. So I'll leave you with the same question we started with. Have a real think about it. Based on your number of staff, your average sales, your client commitments, what would just one single minute of downtime truly cost your business? Something to think about, eh?